Hello. Hello and welcome. I'm Erin Saniva. I'm your high priestess today. Welcome to the temple. This temple is a temple of the heart. This temple is a temple for the soul. It is not of any delineation or organized religion, any denomination. It is pure source with the divine feminine focus. I am here to hold the space of healing techniques today, to bring you an essence of the work that I do, to talk about it openly, open source, if you will. Sometimes I charge for this information, but today I feel a certain energy moving through me, and it's actually been a while since I've had this really strong push of focus on this. This is what people need right now. So come with me as I create a container for today and tune in with the heart field. Take a breath, close your eyes. I welcome the presence of our higher selves, our highest selves. I welcome the presence of our guardian dragons and spirit guides, greatest parts of ourselves. I welcome Enheduanna, High Priestess, and the unicorns. I invoke the frequency of forgiveness and innocence. And I ask for the unicorns to stand in the four corners of this container in the cardinal directions in order to restore all that is distorted and inversions of truth. Breathing into the belly as we connect to the central flame in the heart. I welcome Master Teachers, Heart of Elisha, Yeshua, Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Mother Isis. We call upon the lineage of the rose and the blue ray, the sisterhood of the rose and the ancient orders of light. I welcome the presence of the Hathors and the multidimensional healers working for the highest good. And we call upon those who are the keepers of telepathy, the bees. Melise, we welcome you, and we welcome your presence and your frequency. Beloved forces of nature, we welcome your wisdom, all that serves the highest good. And we thank you for our returning to our own true nature and wisdom within. I anchor the sacred cosmic blue flame of Sophia here in the center of this container, in the center of our hearts. Along with the emerald crystal heart flame, the white Christed flame, and the triple solar dragon flame, from the highest light of creation through the center of our beings and anchored deep into the earth. In the corners of this container, I place 4 pillars of light, harmony, love, truth, and respect. These energies are imbued within this container and create a grid of loving force and protection And I welcome our protector dragons of the highest light to encircle us. A light atop this double terminated crystalline structure, 26,000 feet up and 26,000 feet down. Thank you. Thank you. All of the beings that come today are only those who love us unconditionally, who serve the highest good only in accordance to the divine plan and the cosmic sovereign law of one. And so it is. Wonderful. Blessings. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Strong energies. Can you feel that? Welcome, everyone across all platforms. Tell me who you are and where you are. And let's talk about being psychic. Well, really being human. Let's talk about being human. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things. I can't help myself. So, as humans, we are filled with an abundance of subtleties, right? We are filled with energies that range from high frequency to very dense, low frequency, right? And as physical beings, and science is really, well, Western science, I should say, Eastern science and medicine has known much of the energetic body for a very long time. Hello, Justin. Oh, the Redwood Coast. Ah. Hello, Chantal. Hello. Greetings all the way down in South Africa. Good to see you, sister. So, Chinese medicine has known about our energetic systems for a very long time. And they have a very different perspective from how we have evolved in the West. And so the West is kind of looking through more of the quantum physics lens, finally, right? Where in Chinese medicine, it's very well known that different energies are held in the body, right? The energies in the fascia and the plasma, right? Of the meridians, right? Hello, Jenny. Welcome. Glad you're here. Pennsylvania, Bucks County. So, so what we're learning now is from a different perspective than traditional Chinese medicine or from the philosophies of the East. Because we're beginning to actually be able to measure what, the traditions of the East are more experiential, right? They're learned through experience. And so the way that the minds have shaped themselves, we're now turning back to experience, right? We're turning back to, after we've seen the science and we're still learning how to read the information and the data that comes out from studying psychedelics, quantum theory, string theory, right? Even the Hadron Collider, all of these things are really, we're getting better at measuring our universe. But what we have to do is turn back to the experiential. That's what matters here. We need to turn back to the part of ourselves that already knows, right? And if it doesn't know, it knows how to find out. we are in a predicament. We're in what many refer to as spiritual war. This predicament is also called the Great Turning. Some factions call it the Great Reset, right? Some of us call it the Great Remembering. And that's where I am, in the remembering what I'm capable of and why I'm here and what I'm going to do about it, right? So, hello, Christina. Happy day to you in Wisconsin. So, in this, as we're getting better at presencing ourselves, as we, the part of the awakening, well, not part, but like the foundation of awakening is awareness, right? It's a shifting of awareness coming from the dense part of yourself to the expanded, lighter, higher frequency part of yourself, getting to know yourself on all of these different levels, right? From survival, right, at the root, that tribalism, that getting into it, I'm spitting all over the place. What's happening? But so we're in this place of like needing to remember what we're capable of. The world of convenience, the world of industrial revolution has brought us to such a viscerally dense place that we have been rejecting that and kind of trying to spiral out of that for the last 150 years. And through the expansion of theosophy and spiritism, right, these foundations of the Western world, anyway, reaching out to the beyond and actually using your psychic abilities, right, to have greater awareness of your surroundings, have greater awareness of your life, your purpose, right? So as you are becoming more aware of yourself and remembering who you are and why you came here, which I hope that you are. And if you're not, I'd love to help you, because that's the mission. Like literally, if anybody asks me like, what's the secret of life or what's the purpose of life? It's to remember who you are, right? And there are layers to that, who you are. We can go directly all the way back to I am love, right? Or we can stay in this present place of I'm everything, right? But I am also this personality. And so what is this personality doing? What does the personality need to remember about the soul that it inhabits it, that drives it, right? So our souls speak to us in myriad ways. We call it intuition. That's the name that we give it. But we need to have 100 different words for the different kinds of intuition, the different kinds of clairs, but the more like adjectives of how this feels. How can I express this to you? Let's make up new words, right? But what is the most important thing here? Hello, Noelle, welcome. What is the most important thing here is to realize that these psychic abilities, your intuition, is far more spiritually important than you realize. And it actually can come down to survival, how strong your intuition is. That shouldn't be surprising, I don't think. Right? Native Americans have shared how they know that their hair is a part of it's like their antenna, right? It's an extension of their intuition. When they were forced to cut their hair because of colonization, and abuse, and also joining the military or being forced into the military, when they shaved their heads and cut off their hair, they lost a massive amount of their intuition, measurable. They measured it in World War II in some manner. I'm not really quite sure, but it was like, very obvious that this is what happens. You want us to scout for you. You want us to, be able to have strong intuition. If you cut off all of your hair, that is going to affect your intuition because you have feelers. These are your feelers, right? So other things that are also your feelers that you can't see, or maybe you can, right? We have an aura. You know that. And the aura is becoming more popular as it is part of the, Gen Z, Gen Alpha vernacular. But yes, they did exactly, Chantal. They lost their tracking ability. So we also have hairs, light hairs, electrical magnetic hairs that are an extension of our physical body that are also reading information all of the time. Whether it's, sensory awareness of how close you are to something or someone, right? To even more subtle, what mood are they in? What cycle is she on, right? Like these layers of awareness go really, really deep and really, really wide. But we have to come into awareness of them. And it's almost literally as simple as that. Coming into awareness. So sometimes we need other people to say, oh, this is how you come into this awareness. You do this, think about this, right? That's what I do. It's one of the things that I do. And of the utmost importance, coming into hyper awareness of yourself. And this is, when I say hyper awareness, this is not an awareness that's riddled with anxiety, okay? This is presence. Aware of all things around you. And your level of safety. Where's your nervous system when you check into the energies around you? So in my psychic development courses, we enter into learning how to shift focus, pay attention to the physical body, pay attention to your foot, pay attention to your head, pay attention to your heart. Go deeper in your heart. What's under there? Go deeper again. What's in your mind? Turn your attention to your mind. Turn your attention to your spirit and shift. Learn how to shift. Then we learn how to shift multidimensionally. Here's the key piece, the temple of the heart. The beginning of this podcast today, the beginning of this video, I said, this temple where we are here, this is the temple of the heart. This is a place where we go deeper and deeper and deeper. And what's amazing is that the actual temple of the heart, sometimes referred to as the kingdom within, right? But this is from the perspective of you being that ruler of the kingdom of God, right? Because you are. This is your temple. This is your self in here. This is where the soul sits. The temple of the heart is the mind of the soul. Yeah. It's like the soul of the heart and the mind of the soul. It's like, oh. And when we're in the temple of the heart, we can do anything. We can travel cosmically, interdimensionally. We can communicate with whomever, whatever. This is the place where we can step from when we need to go somewhere, maybe remote view, right? This is the place where we also receive our initiations. This is the place where we receive healing from our higher aspects of self or from our spirit guides, from our higher self. Right? So in what I teach all of my students, whether it's in my 5-month mentorship or in my 6-week psychic development training, it's all about your intention, what you're holding, right? What you're expanding open to. We need to have this space for ourselves to come home. We have this longing, and we think, so star seeds really do go through this, like, where am I? And why am I so far from home? But if you could just tune in here, please, really and truly go home. Go home to yourself first, right? Be with your soul, and then travel. Go to the port room, right? Or however your heart designs the temple, that's your temple. I have in the temple of my heart, I have rooms. I have this long hallway, and I have these rooms, and I have one room that is the port room. It's the traveling room. It's like, it's kind of like the doorway in Howl's Moving Castle, except you open the door and you're in the room that is the portal that you step into with your intention, and then you go where you're going. So you can do anything there. You can also shift dimensions by accessing different aspects of yourself. You can visit your other lives. So anyway, lots of things that we can do in the temple of the heart. And it really is only limited by your own imagination. Because your imagination is also your vision. Your vision is also your imagination. And that is your creative force. And so where you put your attention and your envisioning, you are creating. Even if you feel like, oh, I'm just making this up. Yeah, sure, go with it. You're making it up and it's real at the same time. That's how we can have initiations in the temple of the heart, because you have to be in that perfect divine place where you are in tune with your whole self inside in order to receive those initiations. You are your own initiator. And I'm a guide. I'll hold your hand, right? So on this path of awakening, I don't really like to call it ascension, and a lot of people say, oh, it's not ascension, it's inscension, and I would agree with that, but that word doesn't really flow. We got to find a better word. So I call it evolution. It's not novel, I know. Doesn't need to be, because that's what it is. We are evolving. It's not a revolution, because we certainly don't want to go backwards, right? It's an evolution. And in our evolution, you're probably aware of the bifurcation of technology and nature. If you haven't already, you better choose your path and stick to it. Don't let them twist your arm and say, oh, don't worry, the AI is fine. The AI is your friend. It's going to help you. Choose nature. Okay? Take it from me. Choose nature. And as you choose nature, you're choosing your own nature. Okay? the more that you are, I know I feel a little bit redundant, but I'm going to say it again. The more that you are psychically developed, the safer you are on this planet. Because it's not just a spiritual war, it's a frequency war. And you have to be tuning yourself daily. We all do. In one way or another. You can do it with music, with intention, with your breath, with meditation, with movement, with conscious presence, right? And as you do that, then you are fine-tuning yourself. You are taking your power back, right? And controlling your electromagnetic field, which is constantly being bombarded by this here. Unfortunately, our means of communication, right? So as you evolve and feed, nourish, nurture those parts of you that go, oh, I should practice this. This feels like there's something here. Like telekinesis, right? It's so cool. And I have not tried it. I've not tried. I work with the clouds. I mean, it's been a while, but I used to work with the clouds a lot and be able to, bust clouds, clear the skies. Maybe not clear the skies, but open the skies. And I haven't, and I work with my dowsing rod, so I'm reading energy all the time. So what if I start to tune into my hands and say, hey, let's up the ante, let's open up a little bit, let's increase the energy here, let's breathe this in. Because of my other breathwork practices or Tai Chi, right? If I know how to harness energy, then I can allow the energy to move through my hands and make something happen, right? And I can feel it just by tuning in. But I haven't explored this, right? I haven't explored it, and I'm curious to. I would like to. I'd like to see. Right? Can you move aluminum foil? Can you make a dial spin? So these tools we need to practice. Sophie, I used to be so frustrated as a kid that I couldn't do telekinesis. I'm pretty sure I felt the same way. I'm pretty sure. So, in this experience, it's like we probably felt that way because we couldn't do it yet, and we knew we were capable of it. That's what it feels like to me. Oh yes, become an airbender. I love those videos of, that we can do that. But this is what I'm saying. You have to choose nature. These are the elements, right? We need to be working with, so excuse me, the clouds, there's water bending, maybe a little bit of air and water bending, right? With these skills, we have to be in relationship. We need to be communicating, right, with nature in order for them to agree to it, right? In order, like the tree has to be like, yeah, I'm gonna participate, right? So as we are developing, the more that we lean in, right? And practice, yes, right? Practice, yes. But if we're going to talk about priority and safety, because this is my focus for today, like this is why I'm talking about it, is because not just your spiritual protection, your energetic protection, but having that connection to self and to source and having allies. Okay? So I had a really powerful session yesterday with a man in Portugal. And he was living underneath a medium. And ever since he had a session with said medium, bad things had been happening. And I'm like, oh, good. All right, well, let's see what's here. And there was a being that was working through her because he was like, she's very full of light. Like, she doesn't seem malicious in any way, but everything, like all these bad things have been happening ever since this session. And everything that she said, the opposite happened. So I'm like, okay. So I take a look and she has entities. And these entities are working through her inadvertently, right? Subconsciously. And so even affecting the information that's coming through, etc. What he needs, right, is spiritual protection. That he could even go to her. If he had heightened awareness, he would know, or he would be able to trust his intuition, which kind of, he told me, he said, I had a feeling maybe we shouldn't have this session, but he didn't listen to it. But his intuition was right there speaking to him, saying, no, please. Not this one, right? So if he had a better relationship with his intuition, he wouldn't have gone and these things wouldn't have occurred, right? And because of my allies and the allyship that I hold in the spirit world, so this, I don't know if you call this, what you call this. I know it's mediumship, but it's, communicating with Archangel Michael, with my dragons, or my dragon working through me, and my Irma guides, like very particular guides come in to do very particular things. And these relationships that I have so that I can take care of the darkest, malevolent things psychically, spiritually, quantumly, by myself over here in my little house, I can do this because I'm working with these beings and have this sense of awareness. Let me tell you, I'm in my mid-40s and I've been psychic my whole life. I'm self-trained. I've been a professional, psychic for over 18 years. And the work that I'm doing now, especially in this last year, 2 years, ever since the dragon came in, is quantum leaps abilities. Like quantum crazy abilities that I thought I was psychic before. Right? And now I'm just like, oh yeah, wow, my whole vision is changing. And even now my sight, my eyes open vision, multidimensional vision is changing. So I'm going to say it took a lot of work, a lot of development, and a lot of trust for me to come to this place where I'm able to do the things that I do with people all over the world. What a privilege, incredible honor. I hope I sound humble. I don't know if I sound humble about it, but I'll tell you what the dragon holds. It is a healthy ego, and I know what I'm capable of. I know the work that I do on a daily basis, and I'm going to own it. It's the only way. Truly, owning your abilities, being honest with yourself and honest with other people. It's not egotistical to know your worth and to speak it. I have capabilities, but they've been hard earned, let me tell you. And everybody has different levels of all of the different types of clairs, visions, abilities, senses, right? Everything is a spectrum, just like, your fingerprint is so unique to you. There's nobody else in the world that has the same fingerprint as you. Your psychic abilities are very much the same. They're all these little a little bit of this, a little bit of that, stir it up. Poof, that's Sophie. Poof, that's Chantal. I was like, oh, here comes Erin. And so it's when you start to discover like, oh, I'm a little bit telepathic. Or you see that like, oh, did I just do that? And you're like, okay, maybe I am actually I can do this telekinesis thing. Right? Oh, Tracy. Chantal, it is. It's an act of self-love, owning yourself, right? And that's why I'm calling my my psychic development course Psychic Empowerment, because I want to empower you. Right? I really want to, I know that my purpose is to support the collective spiritual evolution. And if that's, literally on a case by case basis, I know that out of the whole, each soul that awakens to their true power and essence is a win, obviously, and is a win for the light. Right? We're coming back into that balance. The scales are tipping, my friends. And each soul that we help along the way tips the scales some more. Because remember that 100th monkey, right? Like we come to the critical mass. We're coming to that place where enough humans are awake and are accessing their abilities, accessing themselves, remembering themselves and who they are and their mission and how they got here and the stories they came here with that they still have to heal, because even as you remember yourself and you're like, well, I'm so good at this, I'm going to work on this, and there's still other things in your life where you can be a super shitty person. I do not declare total innocence, right? That's why I have to invoke the unicorns, because we all need a little innocence in our lives. Right? We need to remember our innocence and be compassionate with ourselves. So ladies who are here, who are commenting, can you own what you are good at? I know, Sophie, you wanted to be telekinetic. Is that how you say it when you can move things? I'm not sure what that's called. Because I don't have it. Or do I? Right? So that's the thing too, is in my class as well, that I'll teach you to be like, okay, let's tune in only to our ears now. Right? Let's tune in only to our belly. Let's tune in only to our third eye. What can we feel in the body? What do I feel in my emotions? What do I feel in my senses? And then you get better. You get better at it. They develop. One of the first things that I learned while channeling my dragon is that when you acknowledge the intuition, when you say, that's my intuition, I'm going to follow this, I'm getting a sense, I'm going to follow this, spidey sense is going off, I'm going to listen, and then you follow through with that, and it comes true, and you were right, you are creating new neural pathways. You're literally creating synapses that strengthen your psychic abilities. Because your brain is saying, I did that. I listened and it worked, and the brain loves that. The brain freaking loves that. I'm like, yes. So every time that you are acknowledging, I'm sensing something. Maybe I should wait. And then you wait. And the thing that you thought was going to happen, and it's a good thing that you waited, happens. And you go, I knew that was going to happen, right? And I listened to my intuition. Good, we got that. Check, right? And the brain goes, yes. And makes more neural pathways, more synapses, more lines that shorten the pathway to you believing and trusting. And just like I believe that trust is a muscle. It builds and it grows when you use it and you lean into it. That trust is the actual neural pathway that you're developing. That's the trust. Isn't that beautiful? So I love talking about this stuff. Obviously, you can see it lights me up. It makes me happy. I love teaching this stuff as well. And through teaching, I get better. I understand it better. I learn too, because I'm a channel. Oftentimes, new information will come through. I'm like, oh, well, that's good to know. Because I'm an experiential teacher. I'm going to put you into the experience so that you can learn from it yourself. I'm not just going to tell you how to do it or tell you how it is. Sophie can tell you herself. She just finished the mentorship. Tracy says, I feel that the older I've gotten, the harder it is for my senses. Well, I don't know if that's age or if that's just this day and age, right? I think that what you could be experiencing is more a level of how much harder it is to tune in to ourselves with electromagnetic frequencies, non-ionizing radiation, right? All this electricity bouncing off everywhere. There's interference. And if you haven't, tuned into it in a long time, or you haven't been, strengthening it, then that's going to be, it's going to be harder. It's going to be harder. So, but it's still a muscle that can be woken up. It's still a part of you that just needs you to turn towards it. Go, I got your attention, right? And you can say, yeah, oh yeah, I'm looking at you. I can see you now, right? That's all it is. It's so powerful what our choices can do, right? Like every time that we choose to pay attention, that we choose to develop something, to be nicer to ourselves, to participate in a regimen, to be, go on that diet, but not even go on that diet, to choose yourself, to change yourself, change your patterns so that you can improve in something. That choice, the choice point, as we refer to in alchemy, that choice point changes everything. You literally create new timelines every time that you choose yourself. Take that in. You create new timelines in resonance to your highest and best when you choose yourself. The universe wants you to say yes to yourself, right? And so your psychic development is you choosing yourself, listening within, And that attunement, that conversation with nature, your own nature, with the water, when you're with the water in the shower or the bath or the sink, when you're outside, when you're next to a tree, like turn to that tree and be like, I'm aware of you, I'm here, I'm present with you. And you might feel that tree go, I know, I'm aware of you too. It makes me think of this really powerful experience that I had not far from here at this greenway, like this little river. It's little right now because it's so dry. Usually it's bigger, but I went to go for a walk over there, and this huge cottonwood tree. Cottonwoods also kind of grow in this like conglomeration of trees, right? They're like a palm. They're literally like a hand. And this part of the tree is just like sitting on the ground. And then there's all these trees coming out of it. But this tree was literally reaching out for me and shining so bright and like brighter than the other trees. And I was like, is this tree like shining for me? And she was like, you see me. She's a glorious tree. And she's at a crossroads, right? Like she's really holding space, this tree. And so I went to go like be with her and receive from her. And she totally, and I kid you not, I'm not making this up. There was a point where I was like, I wonder if I can do that thing where I can talk to the tree and she'll reach down and touch me. She did. She did. And it wasn't like far away or anything. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna give her a good chance. Right? I'm gonna give her a good chance and like be just a couple inches away. But it was very noticeable that she came down and touched me. That awareness, my awareness, her awareness, she's a tree, she's got all the awareness. But my awareness of her allowed me to even amplify my awareness of her energy and then see her energy even more. It was like while watching her, her glow brightened. And maybe she did even brighten because she was being witnessed, which nature loves to be witnessed. Loves it, you know? So these levels of awareness that we're ready for, that I believe that we need to have, whether it's for cunning, whether it's for survival, or whether it's even just to support yourself, your loved ones, your friends, clients, with your intuition, the beauty of your inner vision, right? This is why we need to be hyper aware. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that definitely is. Jenny says, I was told, you commented it, so I'm sure it's okay. I was told that I can read energetic fields. I always attributed that to growing up in severe trauma. I'm so sorry. Since early childhood, I can sense people's energy and emotion. Very common, super duper common. And absolutely, hypervigilance, right? That's what that word means. Hypervigilant means always holding the light. What is a vigil? It's where you're holding the light. And so when you're hypervigilant, you're like, what mood are they in today? What mood are they in today? What's going to happen to me, right? That is absolutely your body sensing the field. So sorry. And that field and that trauma that's held in your body can also be alchemized, because it's not just held here. And by bringing the divine light to it, it can be healed. It can. There's, knowing where the belief that was, part of your story, wherever that started. There's so much. Sorry, I'm like going into like facilitator mode and like alchemist mode here. I'm like, let's heal it. Because that's how I feel. It's like, and you may have seen a post of mine that says, what is the point of being psychic if we're not going to heal the wounds that are very clear and present for us? Like, oh, here's a mother wound. Wow. Guess you have a mother wound. There's your psychic information, right? No, here's the mother wound. How about we bring the divine mother into this situation and bring healing and clarity and wisdom, forgiveness in however it needs to be, right? So all of these presences of self, right? In the ancient Egyptian tradition, they see the body as having 9 subtle parts. So imagine that you have your physical body, you have what is called the sound body or the Ren body, your vibrational body, right? But then you have different aspects of the heart, different aspects of the mind, different aspects of the spirit, right? So We're just remembering this. We're just remembering this for ourselves. And so I want to encourage you. To tune in to yourself. Practice things. Come to my psychic empowerment course this fall, right? Or the mentorship, the Magdalene mentorship, which will just give you everything you need right now for your spiritual evolution. Everything you need, including sisterhood. It's of the utmost importance, let me say again, of the utmost importance that we are taking care of our hearts, our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. Now more than ever. Because how do you even, this is the thing, I have even said, how are muggles even sane? How can you survive without connection to spirit or emotional regulation? I mean, I'm sure you can have a emotional regulation without having to have a connection to spirit, but it all feels like one to me because it's just so integrated. It's just who I am, right? It's who I am. So this is my website. If you want to know about my mentorship, I have not put up my psychic empowerment program yet. I have a lot on my plate right now getting this mentorship rolling. But yes, October, look out for psychic empowerment. And it's going to be a season of healing, a season of personal development. This year, remember, this is the fire horse. This is you really taking charge. What does the horse represent? Personal power. Empowerment, yes. But, if we could consider what the horses bring us, they bring us healing. They bring us ancient wisdom. And they can be quick as the dickens, or they can be really slow, really gentle, right? Really intuitive, very intuitive. They can feel the magnetic fields, right? Horses feel a lot. They feel you, but tuning into the fire horse, and maybe the year of the unicorn, maybe this is the unicorn, right? But tune into your fire horse within. What is driving you? What is the mission that moves you forward? How can your psychic abilities support that mission? Thank you for doing the work. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. The more that you are in your heart, the more that we are all in our hearts, the better the turnout, right? The better this world is going to be. It is, it's true. Like, the better the outcome of all of this chaos, we need to be in our hearts first and foremost. So invoke compassion and forgiveness, walk with it all of your days. And hold that highest light. You're in your body, you're attuned. You bring it in, you hold it here, right? You hold it here. Thank you for being with me today and taking this in, and I would love to support you in your psychic empowerment, but also just having revelations as well. If you are in need of an Akashic alchemy session, I have a new client special that expires pretty quick, pretty much this weekend. of 144 instead of 222 for a 90-minute comprehensive session. So take advantage of that. And I love you so much. I'm here to serve and to support your spirit. And I will hold the light for you eternally. Take care, everyone. Release this container to all of the divine beings. Stay if you will. Go if you must. We are so grateful. Thank you. Blessed be. Bye-bye, everyone.